Going to A&M, the phrase is, from the outside looking in, you can't understand it. And from the inside looking out, you can't explain it. That was absolutely my experience of Texas A&M. I told people it's like passing through a veil. You know, I'm from the little sleepy town of Gatesville, Texas. Does anybody know where Gatesville is? Anybody been to Gatesville? Exactly. You go up to Waco and you turn left. You go drive about an hour into the hill country, and there's a little town there. Everybody growing up in Gatesville, Texas, you know, everybody knows everyone. But when it came to going to college, there was A&M and there was not A&M. That was really what it was like. And so it is kind of funny to come here, you know, to Austin. My wife, who I also met at Texas A&M, classified in Texas Aggie class of 2007. But we both came to Austin because there was a lot of opportunity here. And here we are down in Kyle, Texas, having built a business and becoming the mayor, been the mayor for a while. And I look up to the town to the north, and the mayor of that town's an Aggie. And it's like, well, hang on, aren't we sandwiched right between the University of Texas and Texas State University, these monster universities that produce great education and great values? And of course, the answer is yes. And they say what starts here changes the world. And I've always felt like that's a great aspiration. Power to them. But A&M doesn't need the slogan for that to be true. When I went to Texas A&M, when I started going to college in 2003, you know, I didn't have a lot of sense, you know, between my ears, as my dad would say. And so I went to Texas A&M just full of energy and arrogance, feeling like the world was mine. And my freshman year, A&M reminded me that is only true in my head, if you can imagine. And so very quickly, my parents, who had sacrificed a lot and had never gone to college, who had sent me to A&M, gave me a pretty stern ultimatum, like, you know, Texas A&M is a serious school, and are you going to be a serious student? And I will say that the truth of the core of A&M is something really special to me, because, you know, the universities that are all out there, they all boast great academics, and A&M is among those great universities. But what happened to me at A&M, once I finally started to get serious about going to education, was a true transformation, mind, body, and soul. And it comes from the community and the culture that was there. So I was very lost my freshman year. I did not go as what they call, what's the phrase, two percenter? Is that the phrase? Absolutely. I did not live on the campus. I lived in an apartment and did not participate. Maybe went to one or two football games, but it just wasn't my thing. But it wasn't until one day I'm walking through the campus, kind of lost, having made bad grades my first semester, not really feeling like I knew anyone, and I'm walking up to the MSC where they've got this fountain, and it's beautiful, and it's late at night, and it's dark, and there's incredible oak trees everywhere, and there's all these kids, they were peers at the time, they're kids now, sitting around underneath the awnings playing guitar and singing. And I just remember walking up and just kind of just being amazed at the freedom of these students who could be anywhere, do anything, and what the choices that they were making led them to a place of education and community and joyful expression. And so over the course of several months, I started to get to know these kids as well as others. I realized that there are actually leaders and role models all over the campus at Texas A&M who were willing to take time out of their lives to invest in younger students. And I started rooming with a bunch of these upperclassmen who would get up very early in the morning. They spent a lot of their time serving others and exhibiting those great moral values of prayer and sacrificing your own short-term, pleasures for the sake of doing something that's long-lasting. And so many of the friends that I became friends with over the course of those next several years, went to classes with, moved on to do things like found churches and go to missions trips and become mayors and service in politics and lead engineering firms and a variety of organizations. That's what Texas A&M is. It produces leaders and it produces well-rounded people with character. And so I feel like my story is that I almost did a flyby. Like I sort of like went in and I almost got expelled out. But by the grace of God, there were people at that school who brought me in and taught me the great Aggie values. And so I've just always been thankful. And this is the first time I've ever had since graduating to come back and tell that story. So thank you for listening, and I think, like I said, I met my wife there. We played ultimate frisbee. We like to go to Sweet Eugene's. Does anybody know where Sweet Eugene's is? Poor Yorick's, the 4th floor at Evans Library, the Rec Center, and of course the MSC. There are a lot of great places to meet really wonderful people. To all you folks that are thinking about going to Texas A&M, I see you kids. Wait, high school does not matter. The real catch is at college. That's where it's at, so just wait, okay? You got to pass high school to get there, that's right. And the last thing I want to say is, obviously with Muster, this is a time of remembering those who came before us, who've passed away. And it just so happens that I recently lost a great aunt, Amelia Bogard, from my hometown. She was an A&M enthusiast, a meticulous record keeper. Her and her husband, Mike, would travel every single year into their 90s going to the Aggie games. They knew all the traditions. They would send me clips and clippings of the newspapers of everything that was happening at Texas A&M. And my great aunt Amelia, having lived a wonderful and long life, passed. And so for me, as I'm going through this muster, just want you to know that she's the one who's on my heart. So thank you all for letting me talk, and thank you, John, for having me.